Hey AJ, can we get my radio installed today?
What do we got here, bud?
Well, we've got a Boss Marine 180 watt speakers that we need to install along with our Boss radio. I do believe it is Boss as well.
Yeah, but that didn't come with the kit, right? Where's the one that came with the kit? That's one of the
It's
old
over
style?
here. Yeah, that's an old style. This is old school.
Old school one? What do you mean old school?
Run the aux cord.
Oh, the detachable face with an aux cord, huh?
Yeah.
What's that new one? Oh, we even got the USB. That's plenty of room for some water to get in there, ain't it?
In there?
Oh, yeah. All right, so what's your new one? Your new one's Bluetooth?
New one's Bluetooth.
All right, well, hopefully that thing's good. It's been sitting out, and it's been installed on the boat since we put the console back in, and we've just been slacking. And how long's that been since we put the console back in?
Oh.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
Year?
About a year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why are you slacking so hard, dude?
I don't know, man. I need to be better about that.
All right, well, let's get to it.
Let's do it.
So we're looking around, and we got these old holes right here that was for some of those LED lights. And that was the wiring hole, right? So what we decided is this thing, you know, obviously if we mount it correctly, it's got the Boss Audio down there on the bottom. You can see that down there. Point her out, Jeff. Boss Audio down there on the bottom, right? Well, we can't get it enough farther forward to cover that hole just right, but if we turned it just so, that Boss Audio might not line up right, but we can dang sure use that hole right there as our first hole for the speaker. Now, we've already done some measuring. From this hole over to the center line of where the speaker's gonna be, we're gonna go ahead and cut this hole. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and that way we can cover these holes up because, you know, obviously any hole in fiberglass is gonna gain moisture. It's gonna over time cause the issue. So we're gonna eliminate those. Use one of them on the speaker, and then we'll drill our other 3 holes. Those will get cut out. So we'll get these holes cut real quick. We're gonna get these speakers mounted, and then we're gonna pop this out and we're gonna show some wiring, because as you can see, we still got some other stuff going on. We still got to do some wiring, so we're gonna get that started. Getting ready to clean that up now. So, all right. All right, so as you can see, we've got our hole cutter. That is a nice, perfectly round hole. We did a little bit of a bonehead move.
Real raggy.
No, but it'll be all right. That's not through anything. That's just the steering cable, so we can tape that up. But that's also another good point. Make sure you check everything before you do it. Make sure you clear. So while we're in there, let's see. Oh, the other side's definitely clear. You can see the same 3 holes over there. So we're going to get this other side done up, and we'll get these things mounted in here, and we'll come back.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
Well, that's too damn bad. What are you doing anyway?
Oh, you know, taking a nap.
Looks like it. We're supposed to be taking the radio out so we can get started wiring on the back side of it. What are you unwrapping there, buddy?
Some wiring that I did.
All right, well, why are you unwrapping it?
Well, it came undone, and we're gonna...
Oh, dang. Hold on, let's focus on that right there. I mean, that's good tinned wire.
Yeah.
It just...
Wasn't connected good.
Yeah, it looks like it wasn't a good crimp.
Yeah, it's a blue one, and it didn't crimp down good.
Oh, boy.
It
well,
happens.
You know, like I said, we're on the wiring, trying to get some stuff wired up. Radio going in, depth finder up there, that's the power wire that runs to it. We're going to tap into that for the time being for a little temporary off the battery, and then we'll get our fuse panel in there next week, and we're going to try and get our, right over here, right on that side, we'll try and get our switch panel made. You made any progress on that?
Any silence to that one?
All right, so like a typical electrician, we're making a mess and not cleaning it up. But you see here, we got our wires run together. There's our, this is the power, yeah. This is power side, so it catches the power for the radio. It's got the remote wire for the or the ignition wire, I'm sorry, for the radio. And then we've also got the red wire that runs up to the depth finder up top. So we got all those tied together. We've got the grounds tied together to the ground wire that runs back to the battery. Now we're fixing to fish them wires out of there, run that all back through, and then we've got our wiring ran here And I don't know if you can see it, how well you can see it, but Jeff started running, well, you can see it over there on the radio, on the speaker there. He started running them wires north and getting them ready. We're gonna get those nice little deals where you can put a, stick it to it and it has a zip tie. We're gonna get those for that. But Jeff's fixing to fish these wires out through, and then we're gonna fish them through that hole. Oh, I got fingers in there. We're gonna fish them through that hole and get this thing mounted. We've already tried the radio, turned it on. It's good. Now all we have to do is hook up our speaker wires. Now for those, they're gonna be permanent install, so we'll probably bring the soldering iron out here and solder those. For now, this is temporary, so I just put butt connectors there. So anyways, yep, that should be what we need. Jeff, are you getting excited?
I am. I'm ready to listen to some radio. Damn skiffy.
There you go. All right. All right, so as y'all can see here, we've got our extra wires. We're only hooking up 2 of the 4 speakers. So the extra wires we're not gonna be using are the 4 other speaker wires. And then we're gonna have the blue wire, which is a remote wire for like if you hot wire up an amp. We're not putting an amp in here. But if you zoom in on this here, you'll see if you can get down in that hole there, Jeff. Bring camera on down.
I zoomed in. We're zoomed in quite a bit there.
So zoom out. Just pinch the screen.
I gotcha.
If you bring it in on here, you can see down in there. Can you see down in the wires?
No, I can't really see the wires.
Well, if you let me push it up here.
There you go.
You'll see, like you can see it there. I'm gonna pull that up just a little bit, and all we're gonna do is just put us a little heat shrink on there, just to keep them wires from getting corroded. And that way they're out of the way, and we'll tape them over here to all this other stuff and keep them out of the way. That way all we have for our wiring is the ones we actually need. So we gotta hook up, like we said, hook up our speaker wires. We're gonna cut these a little shorter, and we're gonna go ahead and we'll get these ones, we'll get them soldered in. So, all right, we just wanted to show y'all. Now this heat shrink we got, get on down there, Jeff. The heat shrink we got is the one with the glue in it. So when we turn this thing on, you'll see it here. You start at one end and you work your way to the other. Because what happens is if you run yourself all the way back and forth, you're gonna get an air pocket in there, and then it ain't gonna do what it needs to do. So you work from one end to the other, twisting it around, rolling it around. Run this thing up right here. See that thing close down on that? Now, let's set this over here to the side, and you'll see down in that, there's some glue. We're gonna pinch that thing together, pinch that glue together, and that way, that thing will stay glued, and now those wires are sealed. And whenever we go to use them later, then we just clip that off, good to go. All right. All right, so you see, Jeff, what I'm doing here. See how I got that little bit of heat shrink there? Because that thing splits, and so if you wanted to pull it apart more, it'll pull apart more, right? But you put you a piece of heat shrink there, and that thing ain't never going. Now, granted, this is a little extra overkill, but for the future, this is going to be fine. Now, we do realize these are not tinned wires, but these are the wires that came with the speakers. We know we're going to end up replacing them at some point because they're going to corrode, but they're copper. The ones on the unit itself, those are tinned. That's tinned wire. So we're not going to put a whole bunch of effort into this for now, but we probably are going to go ahead and get the soldering iron out here, and we'll go ahead and tin these things here, and then we'll get them tied together and we'll heat shrink over them. So let's get after it, Jeff. All right, so we got our antenna piece on here, and just so that, it runs down and around, but just so we can make sure that thing doesn't get any corrosion in there, we went ahead and put us a piece on there. It doesn't come undone. That's just the radio antenna. And there's all of our wires. We tinned them. The ones for the copper side, we tinned those. The other ones obviously were already, but we went ahead and soldered all those. And we folded them into little J's, so they're pulling against each other. Didn't even have to use a butt connector, but we got some good heat shrink on there. We got it to where these aren't gonna split anymore. These are held together. So everything should be ready to go back in, and we're gonna let Jeff feed those in there and get everything settled. And that way he can roll these wires up, wind everything up real nice. And hopefully here in about 10 minutes, we're gonna have a radio going on. All right, well, there's the install of speakers. Obviously, all the soldering and stuff. Now, when we go to do, Jeff's gonna go ahead and put that in, and I'm gonna come around the other side. And if anybody's seen any of the other videos where we use those weatherproof connectors, you know, when we go to do all the rest of the wiring, you know, running from the battery back there up into here, we're gonna get our switch panel made. We're gonna have that, it's gonna be backlit. And we've had the plan to do this for about 2 years, but it just hasn't come around yet. But now I'm home for a little bit, so we're gonna get this done. So we're gonna have all our switches lined up here, one for the bilge pump, the nav lights, one for turning on the fish finder itself, one to turn on the radio. What else we got in there? Oh, even some interior lights. So we're gonna get us some interior lights, and we have the batteries up front here, up underneath here. We got our battery for, you can see it top. You can see it over there in the side right there. That's the trolling motor battery. So we're gonna get us some lights put up under here too, so that we can be able to see when we go to change battery out. Well, we got this all hooked up. We hear the beeping, but we couldn't figure out why we didn't have any sound. We couldn't play music, but we had the beeping sound. What'd we find out, Jeff?
We hooked it to the front wires.
Hooked what?
The speaker wires.
Right. And so we couldn't get any sound out of this thing. And so we get in there, and what we find? It was faded all the way to the back. Run that thing on up. There we go. Now we're on it. So now we got static at least. So now we're going to put them all to the front.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, good to know. So y'all can hear static. We didn't want to play music because why? Copyright strikes. So anyways, there it is. All wired up, running. You hear our static through there. We're going to get our gearbox mounted back up, the shifter mounted back up again, and we're good. And as you can see, we got the soldering iron here. So we soldered those wires. We just got to reach up under there. Bless me. We have the antenna here. We're going to get that mounted up around the steering, up around the top of the console, and run that across the bar, so we have that wire's got us an antenna signal. Jeff, are you happy you got your radio installed?
Damn skiffy.
Thanks for watching. Keep them lines fresh, wet, and tight.